Dear Sagittarius, come a little closer. You, wild soul marked by sacred fire. Sit here with me, in this place where the noise of the world can no longer reach us. If you're hearing this message today, I hope you don't brush it off as just a coincidence, because after a lifetime of watching and listening, I've come to believe that coincidence is simply how the universe signs its most sacred manuscripts. And what I'm seeing in front of me is not just words. It's a summoning, urgent and unmistakable, rising from the layers of sacred earth within you, where light has never reached, but where your heart has always known. Something powerful is awakening, not to scare you, but to return something you thought you had lost, your sacred courage. I'm asking you to stay with me until your heart begins to recognize itself in these words, because this isn't a prediction. This is a homecoming, a return to your blazing self, where laughter, tears, failures, and triumphs finally find their true meaning. And if something deep inside you feels stirred by this, mark your presence here with a small but mighty act. Like this video, subscribe, and in the comments write, I am ready to receive all the good things I deserve, because Sagittarius, your soul was never lost. It's simply been on the long road back to itself. From the moment I placed my hand on this deck to connect with you, I felt it, a warm, forceful energy rushing through my palms, like an ancient soul who's waited far too long and can't hold back the truth any longer. And before I could even ask a question, a card flew out of the deck, landed face down like a choked sob, a buried truth begging to rise, the card of justice. No, she doesn't come to punish. She arrives like a messenger from ancient times, to restore the lost order, to rebalance the scales of your inner universe. She doesn't shout, she whispers about everything you gave that no one saw, all the times you chose silence just to keep the peace, all the love you gave freely, only to be met with coldness that cut deep. And now, none of that is forgotten. It's not coming back to hurt you. It's returning with surgical precision to those who caused the wounds, because you, more than anyone, know the silent cost of forgiveness. You've been a safe harbor for so many lost hearts. But how many times did you have no harbor when the world turned its back on you? You've given more than you had, believing that unconditional love would heal others. But instead, life made you apologize for cracks you didn't cause. You carried burdens that weren't yours, just so no one else had to suffer. But today, in this moment, that cycle ends. No more blind sacrifice. No more repeating the same old lesson. No more letting others use your heart as a scale for wounds they refuse to heal. But you're not being called to vengeance. You've been summoned to be a witness. Because only noble souls have the strength to stand as witnesses to truth. The door, once locked by tears, kindness and words you couldn't speak, has now opened. Not to drag you back into the past, but to shine a brilliant truth upon you. You were never wrong. And if your eyes are starting to well up, let it come. Cry. like someone who just laid down a weight they've carried on their shoulders for decades. Cry, like someone cleaning the sacred altar of their soul after a long season of storms. Cry, because finally, you are free from the invisible web others spun with the threads of their fear, and as that energy begins to settle, another card appears on the table. 3 of Swords, the heart pierced by 3 blades. I ask you, please, don't be afraid. This image isn't here to scare you. It's here to tell you something essential. Your pain is real, and it deserves to be acknowledged. It speaks of the forced smiles you gave, just to make others feel okay, of the times you were abandoned, with no reason, no closure, of the wounds left by those who once swore they'd protect you, then vanished without a word. But what moves me most is not the card itself, but the fact that it showed up right after the Justice card. That is the final proof. Your heart was never lost, and the universe has never abandoned you in the dark. If you're still here, still reading, and you feel a lump rising in your throat, please know this. You are not alone. You are awakening. And Sagittarius, if you're ready to move forward, write these words below. I am ready to step into my radiant destiny. Share this message like a torchlight to help others find their way back to who they truly are. Tightness in your chest. It's not sadness. It's an opening, a gate, invisible, internal, has just unlocked. Your body is releasing everything your soul no longer wants to carry. Everything it simply can't bear for one more second. And with that one small sacred act, you've begun the most profound process of all: conscious healing. The cards in front of me tremble, like living memories, not predictions, but a sacred recording of everything you've just been through. I see it clearly now. A figure who once had power over you, through emotion, money, status, maybe even religion. Someone who made you question yourself, made you believe that sadness was weakness, that needing love made you fragile. But now, that image is crumbling, not because you sought revenge, not because you did anything cruel, but simply because they can no longer maintain the low frequency they've been hiding in. They can't mask behind spiritual language or social standing anymore. The light has arrived, and the truth doesn't need to be shouted. It only needs your presence. Quiet, calm, unwavering. You didn't rise from the ruins with bitterness, you rose differently, with the posture of someone who no longer needs validation, no longer waits for an apology that never comes. It's just you and truth walking out of the long night together. Sagittarius, I don't want you to just be a listener. I want you to take part in your resurrection. Don't remain a spectator. Write it down. In the comments, for our community to witness, or in your private journal. Let it be a declaration, a sacred vow. Today, I let karma unfold on its own. I rise, I heal, I move forward. Then, the miracle begins. You won't need to do anything, no need to explain, defend or react. The one who hurt you will begin to feel the heat, not from your fire, but from the fire of karma. Because once your soul stops waiting for human justice, the universe moves. and it never, ever misses. You gave with your whole heart. You watered deserts with love. And now, in the places where you once wept alone, light begins to rise, not by chance, but as a sacred reward for the one who stayed kind even when the world turned cold. The next card arrives, like a wave of energy that doesn't ask permission. Judgment, a wake-up call, a summons not meant for the faint of heart. It's not here to scare you, it's here to confirm you are ready to see the truth, not sugar-coated, not distorted, not filtered through guilt or shame, just truth, raw, clear, undeniable. In your energy field, I don't see just one person who hurt you. I see many. A pattern. A timeline of trust. Taken. Then broken. And some of them are still out there, living their lives as if nothing happened. But what they don't know is that you are no longer trapped in silence. You are no longer alone in your pain. You are being witnessed by higher realms. Every time you forgave without recognition, every tear you wiped alone in the dark, has been recorded in a sacred book. And now, those pages are opening, line by line, with the precision of a Swiss clock. This is not revenge. This is divine order. The restoration of balance between shadow and light. You will watch it all unfold from a distance. You won't have to touch it. You won't need to interfere, because divine justice doesn't need your hand to be carried out. It only needs you to step aside and be free. Another card falls to the table. This time, 7 of Wands. I know this image because it is you, a warrior, but not the loud kind, not the kind who charges in shouting. You are the one who has been hid, misjudged, used, and still, you never fell. Each strike became a layer of armor, each insult, a bell that taught you that your value doesn't come from anyone's permission to exist. You learned to protect your inner light, even when exhausted, even when wounded. You stayed on the front lines, not to fight, but to hold your heart steady and keep its rhythm true. I know there were nights you wanted to give up. I know. There were hours when you whispered in the dark, "Does love always hurt this much? Do I have to dim my light just to belong?" But no, not anymore. The version of you that once compromised, the version that made themselves smaller just to be kept around, that part is gone now. And in its place, a new you has risen, stronger, wiser, calmer. And then, as clear as sunlight through glass, she appears, the Queen of Swords, not a stranger, not a symbol, you. A soul that was deeply hurt, but chose wisdom over revenge. She remembers what happened, but she's no longer controlled by it. She is silent, but her silence holds more power than 1,000 voices shouting. She needs no proof, no confrontation, no repeat of old wounds, because those with eyes to see will see, and those who were once blind will have to face the truth on their own. If your heart is beating faster as you hear this, I want you to know something simple, but powerful. You did not come here to obey fate. You came here to rewrite it. And the rest of your life will never be the same, because you're now the one holding the pen. Write the next chapter with your own hands, with the same heart that once shattered, because through every crack, the light was always trying to be born. Only time, Sagittarius, you don't walk alone. The wisdom within you is no longer a faint whisper. It's a blade of light, sharp, clear, and final, cutting through every old tie that once held power over you. You now wear an invisible crown, a new symbol of inner sovereignty. No one can bribe you with empty promises. No one can control you with guilt. You walked through the darkness, and in the very moment it tried to break you, you rose with a silence that commanded reverence. To mark that transformation, I pulled one more card, and it showed up immediately, with no hesitation. Ace of Wands. Sagittarius, take a deep breath. This is the beginning. A pure flame, a sacred spark, pouring into your energy field after a long, cold spiritual winter. No more delays, no more blockages. Just one clear path ahead, where the fire of your destiny is burning brighter than ever before. This isn't vague energy. This is life force. This is your spiritual engine, no longer asleep, now awakened by a real, tangible opportunity, a new project, a higher vibe relationship, a path you once thought was unreachable, is now crystal clear in front of you. Why? Because your soul has been cleansed, and now you are ready to receive. I invite you, right now, to pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Feel the warmth rising gently in your chest. That feeling. It's not anxiety. Don't confuse it. It's release. It's your soul, breathing for the first time after a long journey of pretending to be someone you're not. And in that sacred silence, let me speak to you, like a loving guide would. Choose transformation now. You don't need permission. You don't need an audience. All you need is you and your own word. Say it or write it. I release the pain that was never mine. I allow karma to return what doesn't belong to me. I rise, I heal, I restore myself, and a new life begins now. This is not a sentence. This is a decree. A vibration echoing through every cell of your body, as if your soul has just signed a sacred contract with the universe. That from this moment forward, you will no longer carry what is not yours. And from that point, your new story begins. No one can stop it. No one, human or unseen, can dim the light that's been lit within you. A miracle begins to unfold when your soul finally understands. Every wound you've ever carried was not in vain, and a strange, quiet peace begins to settle in you. Not because everything is clear, but because you finally realize you no longer need an explanation. You walk through this sacred threshold in a state of clarity. It's not a physical place, but a state of being. A place where you no longer need to prove, no longer chase answers that never came, no longer crave understanding from those who were never ready to see you. You simply move forward with absolute trust that every tear was a key, every loss a baptism. Sagittarius, you've just returned from a long night of the soul. You've emerged from a dark valley with fire in your eyes. You're no longer who you used to be, and the cards, they know it too. They won't stop opening, as if the message itself refuses to end. I still see the Queen of Swords, still holding her place, affirming the strength you've claimed. But beside her now, another light appears. The world. Please, let's pause and listen to this one carefully. This is the spiritual peak of a long, painful cycle, a grand completion, and nothing at Anthem will ever return to what it was. You will no longer accept relationships that drain your life force, no longer settle for hollow affection, no longer bow to pick up crumbs from those who never saw your worth. This card marks an ending, but also a beginning. And for the first time in a long time, you are the center of your own destiny. And then I see a scene, clear as crystal, a revelation, a message being sent, a conversation you didn't expect, an email opened, a secret finally coming to light. But this time, you're not the trembling witness, you're not chasing the truth. You are at the center of your own energy, steady, peaceful, awake, and the truth simply reveals itself, with no force needed. Another card falls, Two of Pentacles, the card of balance, a rhythm you've learned through pain. You used to give without question. Now, you discern. You used to carry the weight of others. Now, you protect what is sacred. This balance came after loss, after nights you questioned whether it was worth it to keep being yourself. The answer no longer needs words. It has become structure. It lives in you now, as an inner lantern, a steady pillar built from brokenness. And you stand on that foundation, not as a victim, but as a gatekeeper, a firekeeper, a soul who has learned how to live without asking permission to exist. You've stopped waiting for someone else to validate your worth. And that is the most radical act a soul can make in this illusion-filled world. And then, I see one last image, 6 of Cups, a past energy returning. But this time, you won't greet it with trembling hands. You'll greet it with the awakened eyes of someone who no longer lives in memory. You're ready to walk forward, and the world is ready to meet you, the newest version of you. Write this down as your sacred mark. I no longer live in the past. I no longer seek justice from those who cannot love. I am the circle, complete. I am the light. That will not be repeated. And if you're ready, then every door will open. No knocking, no waiting, just step forward. This time, the old energy isn't returning to pull you back into confusion. It's not bringing the swamp of old patterns, not the binding memories, not the loops that dragged you right back to the places you once ran from. No. This time, it returns because you called it. Whether you remember or not, in a night of desperate prayer, or in a quiet moment under a crescent moon, you whispered to the universe, "If anything from the past comes back, let it return in purity, in truth, in an evolved vibration, not in the worn-out shape of karmic loops." That prayer, born of pain, sent with hope, was heard. And this figure from your past, marked by the Six of Cups, may have been someone who once loved you, someone who once betrayed you, an old friend, a distant relative, or even a part of yourself long forgotten. They're not here to drag you backwards. They've emerged from a deeper part of you, a part that has grown in silence, unseen by the world. The question now is no longer, should I forgive them? You did that long ago. The real question is, do they resonate with who I've become? This is not about blind attachment, not about idealized memories. This is a lesson in spiritual connection, where two souls meet, not out of emptiness, but out of awakening. And if their energy matches the rhythm of your present heart, you'll know. And if it doesn't, this time you'll know how to close the door, with compassion, without resentment, without regret. Your intuition now is sharp as a blade. Your dreams are no longer foggy. They arrive like curated films, crafted by your guides. You wake up feeling something sacred was just whispered into your being. You see repeating numbers, unexplainable synchronicities, accidental eye contact with exactly what your soul was just thinking about. All of it is proof. Proof that a new channel has opened inside you, no longer blocked by pain, no longer jammed by unhealed memory. Your sensitivity, once mistaken as weakness, is now your sacred compass, and with it, you will walk paths you once thought were impossible. And then, another card turns, one that makes me pause, lower my voice, and bow my head. The Emperor. He doesn't arrive to conquer your space. He arrives to affirm. From now on, what comes into your life will have structure, foundation, maturity. It may be a new partner, one who is stable and sure. It may be a phase of career where your value is finally respected. Or it may be you, a new version of you, unafraid to stand fully in your power. No more paralyzing doubt, no more self-sabotage, no more waiting for someone else to declare your worth. You are the resilient seed that survived all the storms. You are the root that lived through the coldest earth. And now, it's time to bloom. Give yourself a moment to look back, not with sorrow, but with deep gratitude. Every scratch, every fall, every rejection, every slammed door was a stepping stone to this moment of power. There are souls in this universe that make everything go silent just to witness their rebirth. You are one of them. And just when I thought it was complete, one final card reveals itself. The Star, a promise without words. I couldn't hold back tears when I saw it, because this card never appears by accident. It only shows up after you've crossed a desert, after you've refused to give up, after you've endured the soul thirst you thought would never end. This is a promise from heaven, a love letter the universe wrote just for you. You've reached safe shores. You're no longer surviving each day. You're beginning to live on purpose. And from this moment on, you'll never need to apologize for your own light again. You are the star. You don't need to force yourself to shine. You just need to be. And your energy is starting to touch others. Many of you listening right now have already begun to spread your light, even if you haven't realized it. Your dreams are denser, your senses sharper. You feel subtle vibrations in people, places, and seemingly meaningless words. And if you ever doubted, today I confirm it for you. It's not your imagination. It's real. You are awakening, naturally. No need for rituals. No need to reach anything. You just need to trust yourself. And then a soft motion. A card falls gently, not a warning, but a gentle touch from the past. A final trace of something still lingering. An old commitment, not yet released. Don't be afraid, because this time, you don't need to run from it. You don't have to fight it. You just need to breathe, look it in the eye, and know it no longer holds power over you. And with one simple nod, it will dissolve, because you are ready for what comes next. And what's coming will not look like anything you've ever known. If you'd like me to extend this final chapter with the star, the world, and a soul-deep affirmation to activate your intuition, Sagittarius, just say the word. I'll write it as your final rebirth hymn. He's not just a memory, he's the living image of those invisible chains you still sometimes feel tugging at your ankles whenever you try to fly. That vague fear of losing everything you've built, that inherited guilt passed down from generations before you, never yours to carry, but still living in your blood. That seed of doubt planted in your heart by those who didn't know how to love, who made you believe you were the one to blame. But this time, you don't look at him through fear. You see him with eyes of understanding. You're no longer led by simmering anger or the need to control, because now, you know, every shadow that shows up is just another part of you, a child within who hasn't been fully held. The need to explain, to be certain, to feel safe, was once the defense of a soul afraid of being left behind. But now, you're ready to walk forward without a map, because the star inside your chest now shines bright enough to light the way. And in that sacred moment, an energy appears beside you, an elder feminine spirit, radiant and warm. A grandmother, a mother, a woman from your bloodline who once lived through quiet sorrow. She doesn't need a body, she is light. She's been with you all along. In those nights you thought you were completely alone. She touched you in the dark, she held you in your sleep. And now, she wants you to know that your journey is the continuation of a promise she never got to fulfill. What you're healing now is not just yours. It belongs to every soul who shares your blood. You're not simply walking your own path, Sagittarius. You are the arrow piercing through the dark skies of an entire lineage. You are the final whisper your ancestors sent into the future. And then a card appears, the High Priestess. She does not speak, she watches. And it is in that silence that the most sacred confirmation is found. Because once the truth within you awakens, you no longer need anyone outside to validate it. There's no going back. Once the light turns on, you can't pretend to live in the dark. This card is the universe's quiet agreement. You have crossed the threshold of awakening. You no longer see silence as emptiness. You now see it as a temple, a place where the answers come to you without needing to be chased. From this point forward, your intuition will grow like a flame in your chest. Some of you will become healers. Others will inspire through the smallest acts. No matter the path, you will no longer be ruled by the fear of not having enough. You will no longer cling to someone just to avoid feeling alone. Because now you know you are the safe haven you were always searching for out there in the world. And then, one more card appears to affirm it all, the Chariot. This isn't a loud victory. It's the quiet triumph of someone who kept their heart steady through it all. This card tells me, you are in motion, no more going in circles, no more standing still in someone else's emotional maze. You're moving forward, on a path you chose yourself. There was a time you were pulled in every direction, by expectations that weren't yours, by rules that didn't fit, by emotional patterns long expired. But now, you've taken the reins. You're not acting to prove anything to anyone. You're moving with integrity. Your chariot doesn't run on external fuel. It's powered by every no you finally learned to say, by the boundaries you once trembled to draw, by every step you dared to take, even when the path was still dark. And because of that, your direction is now clear. No explanations needed, no more justifying who you are. Yaman, you've been wounded, but you are not the wound. You are the one who carries the wisdom of every scar you've walked through. And the final card, the one that made me pause and take a long breath, wasn't just a symbol. It was a confirmation. You didn't just survive. You overcame. If you'd like me to expand this into a closing declaration of triumph to end Sagittarius's journey, just say the word. I'll write it like a flame at the end of the tunnel. A promise of rebirth for the soul that chose to walk through fire without losing its light. You know now what is no longer home. You know which fields no longer grow your spirit. And that, Sagittarius, is your sacred compass. A kind of wisdom that cannot be deceived. You once turned back out of mercy. You once held on out of memory. But not anymore. Not because of pride, but because you've learned that light does not live in rooms where the lamp's gone cold. And as the wave of energy softens, I see someone new coming into view. A gentle soul, steady, quiet light rising from the horizon. They're not here to overwhelm you. They arrive like morning dew, fresh, grounded, ripened, like oak that's weathered the winter. It might be love, or it might be a kindred friend, a divine guide arriving at just the right time, a soul sent to confirm the storm has passed. And then, the Ace of Cups. It appears like holy water poured from the hand of Spirit. Your heart is no longer fragile. It no longer bleeds, no longer begs for someone to fill the emptiness. It has healed, not to close off, but to open in a new frequency, where you can love without losing yourself, where you can receive without fearing pain. This is no longer love as a debt owed. This is love as living water, refreshing, restoring, rebirthing. If you once believed love was a burden, today is the day that belief ends. And from that place, a new connection is born, not from need, but from freedom, from joy, from the wide open field in your energy. And this is confirmed as Nine of Pentacles quietly appears, a card of silent, sacred prosperity. But this time, prosperity no longer comes with exhaustion. It's not a battle anymore. It's not a trade-off. It's not something you cry for in the middle of the night. It arrives naturally. Like the fragrance of a blooming garden you've quietly tended through what once felt like meaningless seasons. It doesn't ask you to beg. It only asks you to stay in alignment, to keep your frequency steady. You no longer carry dusty beliefs about worthiness. You no longer live inside inherited patterns of scarcity. You are no longer imprisoned in the image of the self-sacrificing one. Now, every doorway in front of you is not a test, but an invitation. An invitation not just to abundance, but to everything you once thought impossible. Unexpected offers, soul-stirring journeys, connections that arrive with a deeper purpose. All of it is coming to you, not because you're chasing it, but because you've become a magnet for it. But there is one last thing, a soft message, but one that lands deep, the Four of Swords. This card doesn't arrive to tell you to stop because you've failed. It arrives to say, you've gone far enough, and now it's time to integrate. This isn't a delay, it's the sacredness of stillness. It's an invitation to take a deep breath, not to prepare for the next battle, but to honor the ones you've already survived. Every step of that road deserves recognition. And now, the most powerful thing you can do is allow yourself to receive without guilt. You don't have to hurry to prove your worth anymore. You don't have to keep moving as if the moment you pause, everything will vanish. It's time now to let life take care of you. Imagine your energy as a still lake. For years, that lake has been stirred by stones others threw in, by winds, by storms you never chose. Now, the waters begin to still, and only when the waters are still can they reflect the stars. If you keep explaining, keep proving, keep pleasing, you'll never see the sacred image of yourself shining back from that surface. This is why rest is a spiritual command, because it is in the silence that the magic begins. And I want you to remember the energy of the Nine of Pentacles one more time, because there's something deeper to absorb here. It's not just about material prosperity. It's about the power to choose your life. Picture yourself as the woman in that garden. She's not waiting for someone to bring her flowers. She grows them for herself. She doesn't need anyone to tell her she's beautiful. She's found her beauty with her own hands. That's you. That's the state you're beginning to embody. And I must tell you, not out of fear, but to prepare you. This new version of you will confuse some people. Those who once fed off your self-doubt may grow uncomfortable. They'll say you've changed, and you'll simply smile with the calm grace of the Queen of Swords. No need to explain, no need to defend. Only say to yourself, softly, I didn't change to please you. I just finally returned to who I really am. And that, dear Sagittarius, is the quiet victory, but the most complete one. It needs no applause, just a still lake and the star above. You're ready now, no longer the one waiting behind the window. You are the one who opens the door. And when you open it with the will of your soul, everything truly begins. It's not your anger that scares them. It's the fact that you no longer need to be angry. Sagittarius, when someone like you knows their worth, you become an untouchable force of nature, one that can no longer be manipulated. Do you remember the image of the chariot I once described to you? Today, I want to go deeper, because that symbol carries a core message for your next chapter. The chariot represents movement, but not frantic, chaotic movement. It's movement with direction, guided by spiritual will. In the past, your life was pulled along by wild horses of emotion or driven by fears with familiar faces. But now, you hold the reins, and that means there will be moments when your heart wants to run towards someone, wants to rescue, but the mind, now linked to the High Priestess within you, the deepest part of your wisdom, will whisper, "No, don't go." Your ability to hold back compassion with sovereignty is what will make you radiant in this next phase. You no longer throw yourself into saving those who do not wish to be saved. You no longer pour your sacred ace of cups, your heart, into the hands of those still clenching their fists. You no longer gift your soul to those who see it as a burden. Your love is now a gift, offered with intention, and ironically, that's what makes true love find you, because frequencies always find their match. When you vibrate with respect, you draw in those who know how to respect. When you move with calm, you attract those who carry peace. And deeper still, I feel the presence of your ancestors. That elder woman, she's still here. She hasn't left this reading. She wants to add something. She wants you to know you are the different child, the one who felt too much in a family that treated feelings as weakness. But she wants you to hear this. That sensitivity was your shield. It was your gift. It helped you sense dishonesty long before others could even recognize it. It helped you survive in places where many would have fallen. And now, with your intuition awakened through the High Priestess. You no longer use it just to endure. You use it to see clearly. You walk into a room and you know who's lying. You hear a sentence and you feel what's hiding behind the words. Innocence is no longer your mask. You see with the eyes of your soul now. And once those eyes are open, nothing can close them again. Let me share something small, a detail I've never forgotten from the Justice card. The scales. They're not frozen. They're always shifting, seeking balance. That's you now. Life will still challenge you, but now you have a center. Every blow might tilt you, but you return. You don't collapse anymore, waiting for someone else to lift you. You rise because you've built a pillar inside yourself. There is an emperor living in the spine of your being. And so, when the past comes back around, because it will, don't react. Return to the body, because your body is your most faithful prophet. If your stomach tightens, if your chest goes cold, if your limbs shrink inward, that's the answer. No logic needed, no memories to defend it. The body doesn't lie. It remembers where it once broke. Trust it. And once again, we return to the Ace of Cups, but this time, it's not just the beginning of love with another. It's the beginning of love with yourself. Before a soulmate can arrive, the universe wants to see you fall in love with your own being, as if it were the greatest love story ever told. It wants to see you buy the book you love, cook your favorite meal, decorate your room not for anyone else, but for you. Because when your own cup is full, anything from the outside becomes just a bonus. And from that place, you no longer enter relationships out of hunger, but out of wholeness. And nothing is more magnetic than someone who needs nothing, yet chooses to give from a place of overflowing. That is you. And all that's left now is for physical reality to catch up to that frequency. Now, as the magician appears, I want you to remember this. You are living in a moment where every word you speak carries the power to shape your world. Every time you say, I am, you cast a spell. So stop saying things like, I'm stupid, I'm weak, I'm not enough. Your subconscious doesn't joke, it believes you. So let's replace that with truth. With the new truths we've just awakened. I am light, I am justice, I am love, I am truth, I am whole. You don't have to believe it all at once. Just repeat, plant the seed, and slowly, your inner soil will begin to bloom. Don't worry about time. I know you've sighed and asked, when will they come? When will the money come? When will justice arrive? And tarot whispers, you can't push the river. The river knows where the ocean is. Your job is not to rush. It's to sit firmly in the boat, in the chariot, with clear direction and a heart that trusts. And from there, everything will find you. No summoning required. Just presence. What's meant for you will always find its way, even if you're buried beneath stone, and what no longer belongs to you will leave, even if you chain it to your bed with 100 promises. That is the highest form of freedom. The freedom from within, not the kind you fight for, but the kind born from deep knowing that you are always guided, always protected, always loved. There are invisible forces, your ancestors, light, divine timing, weaving a golden net for your new destiny. So Sagittarius, breathe. Yes, slow and deep. That breath, it's more than oxygen. It's a confirmation from the universe that you are alive, that you made it, that you've already won. You're not in the storm anymore. You're holding the sunrise. And from that vibration, you begin to build, not sand castles this time, but a stone temple, a sacred structure where your soul can safely dwell, a space no storm can shatter, because you built it with tears, with wisdom, and with fierce loyalty to yourself. And in that temple, there's only one person seated on the throne. It's you. You. With dignity, no one can strip away. And from that throne, look back, not with bitterness, but with the calm grace of a survivor. Can you feel it? The air around you has changed. That heavy pressure that used to sit on your shoulders, it's gone. The tightness in your neck, the invisible size, all of it has lifted. And here's the miracle. It didn't disappear because someone else came to save you. It vanished because of you. You have practiced the greatest form of alchemy, turning pain into wisdom, lead into gold. And from this day forward, every time you step out into the world, every time you look in the mirror, every time you write in your journal, know this: you are no longer alone. Behind you stands a legion of light. At the front, the wise grandmother, the one who stood with you through every card. Beside her, your ancestors, your spirit guides, the silent witnesses of your return to your true self. You have come home to the throne of your own kingdom. You are no longer the one asking for permission. You are the one writing the decree. And this is the new covenant. From now on, the ordinary, the dismissive, the frequencies of disrespect, they are no longer allowed past the gates of your life. Gone are the days you settled for half-loved hearts, for dreams trimmed down to fit someone else's fears, for recognition delivered in crumbs. Today, you receive it all, not with shame, not with regret, but with reverence. And if someone calls you selfish for loving yourself, now wish them peace and keep walking. If someone says you're cold because you placed a boundary where the door used to swing wide open, smile and keep walking. Your job now is not to explain, not to educate, not to heal those who do not want to heal. Your job is to keep the fire inside you burning, so that others, those who vibrate at your frequency, can find you in the dark. And when doubt returns, as it will, remember this: divine justice always arrives on time, not early, not late. And today, it has arrived, not as a courtroom sentence, but as a journey of liberation. You are no longer anyone's punching bag, you are the sun. And the sun doesn't argue with the dark, it just shines, and light always wins. Your protection now isn't made of steel, it's made of wisdom, of dignity, of silent sovereign choices. With reverence, I begin to gather the cards. Justice, Three of Swords, the Chariot, the Star, Ace of Cups. They return to the deck, but their essence remains in you, etched into your aura. infused into your awareness. This reading won't fade. It will live quietly in the background of your being, reminding you on lonely nights, holding you steady when you tremble, whispering, "You have returned." You're no longer the wounded one. You are the one who broke the ancestral chains through silence that thundered. You are the soul who chose the light. Dear brave way shower, you've allowed me into your sacred space. To witness your rebirth has been an honor without name. Your intuition is now awake. It's no longer a whisper you doubt. It is the voice of the divine within you. Trust it. Live by it. Don't stay quiet to be loved. Love without ever betraying your truth. And if these words have reached something deep inside you, let gratitude speak now. Not for me, but for those still out there in the dark, searching for a hand like yours to help them find the light. And if you are ready, type it in the comments. Your affirmation: I have returned. I am light. I am the keeper of my kingdom. I'll see you again on the next journey. But from this moment on, you no longer need me, because you hold the key.